Look here, buddy.
What do you see?
Look, right here. Look what's happened here.
Yeah.
This is all smashed down. Everything around it wasn't. And I looked at this wood before we left yesterday. That was one of the things I was lagging behind for. This fungus in this wood.
Yeah.
This was not smashed down, and when we put the bowls, we didn't come out here.
Right.
So whatever here was here, here's your outline right here.
Yeah.
Where I'm side of my foot, all the way up here, it's almost like sitting. Something was sitting there on one butt cheek.
Cool.
See what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Depression here. The Pyrex with the peanut butter and jelly has been taken out of the center of this bowl, placed here.
Well, so it sat down and ate it over there?
It's been set down and ate over here. How many pieces of licorice were in there?
We had
2, 4, 6, 8, right?
Yes.
There is 4.
4, so 4 pieces.
How many sandwiches in here?
We had 4 sandwich halves.
Halves.
Yeah.
So 4 sandwich halves. Nothing in the middle.
We had the apple in the middle.
The apple is now.
The apple's all the way over there.
20 foot away.
Yeah.
And the bowl is completely empty. There's no signs of any sandwiches, as there was yesterday.
Right.
Completely gone. And I'm seeing what looks to be fingerprints in here again.
Fingerprints inside the bowl?
Yep, look right here.
Yeah.
That is the edge of a finger, and it's raked back that way. That right there is the fingertip, and it pulled it back that way. Yep. It lifted here. Started here, lifted here.
Cool.
There's some more in through here.
Okay.
That is not raccoons, deer, bear, elk, any other sentient being that we know of that doesn't have hands. You have to have this to leave that.
Okay.
And they're there. And also, look out here. There's on the edges. Look at it in better light, but there's definitely some sort of print in that.
Okay.
A depression, and the leaf's right in the middle of it.
Right.
But there's some sort of depression there.
Okay.
Could be an elbow.
Looks like there might be one right here too.
Yeah, and also right here. See this right here?
Yeah.
The apple has no bites on it. So I want to say to you that apple can't be carried without some sort of depression in that thing, impression in that thing from teeth or claws if you don't have a hand. I've been doing this animal shit my whole life. That can't happen. Let's just say if the apple was knocked out of the bowl, and then through the night animals came through and continually kept hitting it with their feet, moving it further down the trail.
Right.
How come there's no, look at all the stones.
Right.
How come there's no nicks, scrapes, bumps, or bruises on that apple?
Okay.
How come it's not disturbed? There's no teeth marks. There's no claw marks. It had to be picked up and sat there or rolled down here, but again, it hasn't been damaged.
Right.
It's 20, 25 feet from the bowl. It's not damaged.
Right.
And was sitting up, straight up. So, what I've gotten out of this so far is I can see where something was sitting there, laying there, sitting there at the bowls. Regardless of what it was, it made a depression that looks like a hip or a butt cheek. Both bowls have been hit. Both the sandwich is empty. The apple's here. 4 of the licorice are missing. The Pyrex bowl is completely cleaned out. Not like out of a dishwasher, but completely cleaned out. And I have already seen evidence of fingerprints, as well as 2 possible foot impressions, which again I will look at in better light.
Yeah.
Again, also no evidence of any sandwiches out here like there was yesterday, and there's no evidence of any little critters making crumbs. These crumbs right here are pie crust crumbs from yesterday. Right there, that's all pie crumb crust. Pie crust crumbs, I should say. That's pie crust right there.
From the pecan pie yesterday.
Not from any sandwich. See, that's crust.
Yeah. Yeah, that
All that's
pecan
crust.
pie was very fragile. Yeah.
None of this is any. They didn't pull the crust off this time and leave it.
Right.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
There were several in the area last night, and they wiped it out.
Yeah. Tonight we're gonna have to put a whole lot more sandwiches out. A whole lot more.
Well, Matt, this is pretty impressive.
Yep.
Look at this. Look, watch me stand next to this and see all this?
Yeah.
Look at that. Now, see how much of an impression I make. And I'm in a stomp. It sprung right back up.
Right.
Watch.
Right.
I'll do both feet.
Right.
No, stomp. You can barely see, here, you can see my heel here.
Right.
But the front part of my foot's already sponged back, or lifted back up. It's just spongy.
Right.
That had to be some fair weight to do that.
Yeah.
You're seeing this?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is pretty exciting evidence.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there's no sandwich pieces down here. Here's an impression.
Cool.
Let's see, get off to the side here. Let me get in there. Hey, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at the fingerprint right there.
Yep.
Look at that.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
There's the tip of the between the, it's this section right here, so it's getting that much of the front part of the finger, and then about that much. So you've got the crease, the knuckle, and the palm. Right there.
You saw me wipe these bowls down last night with surgical gloves on, right? Surgical gloves on and rubbing alcohol. These bowls were thoroughly clean last night, right?
I inspected them, every bit of them, and the Pyrex.
And there were no prints on those bowls.
No prints. We even tested the gloves to make sure it wouldn't make a smudge or anything. I personally checked it.
Right.
Nothing. It was my idea to do that.
Yes.
Just to make sure.
Yes.
Nothing. And you made a point to show us, I'm only holding these on the rim. I'm not holding underneath or inside.
When I carried them out last night.
This rigid rim right here.
Right.
He held them like this.
Right. So I didn't leave those prints on that bowl when I carried them out.
Nope.
Can you blow that again, just to accentuate?
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there. That's again, it's the crease. It's this part. If you're seeing that much of the fingerprint.
Right.
Well, there's more here. This one also has more, and we'll go into that more a little bit later in some better light. But
yeah,
there's definitely there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in this.
Cool.
And again, you know, there's no little tongue lick marks in here. There's no
little crumbs, inside or outside the bowl other than the pie crumbs from last night, or 2 nights ago, when they lifted the pecan pie out of the bowl.
Yep.
So if it was little critters, they would have chewed on it inside the bowl, dragged it outside the bowl, chewed on it outside the bowl, right?
Right, and I'm sorry, but mice can't pick up that apple.
And carry it that far.
Deer and elk and them, they can't, and there's no teeth marks in it. No impressions whatsoever, no dimples or anything. Even if it held it lightly, it has to put enough pressure, you'd see that pressure of the point of the teeth in the skin. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. That seals the deal for me that was carried or sat there. Or
it was picked up with hands. With hands.
It had to be.
Right. Otherwise, you'd see
way.
some kind of teeth impression on it.
Even if you were to say a raccoon, now that's so big that a raccoon would have to hold with both hands tuck in under its arm, pull it in like this,
Right.
and go. Okay.
Right.
Why would it go through the trouble of carrying a heavy apple over there and then never even trying to get into it?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Let me ask you a question about raccoon, because people always talk about raccoon. My understanding is raccoon, they hang near water sources, don't they?
They really do like to keep their hands and food clean. If they have an opportunity to wash their food,
Yeah.
they will wash their food.
Yeah, so I guess my point is we're up on a ridge line about, 4,000 feet above sea level, and all the water sources are down below in the valleys. There's no water sources up here 4,000 feet on a ridge line. I've never seen signs of raccoon up here in 7 years. Nothing's ever hit the garbage bag in camp in 7 years, raccoon, bear, anything. Do you see signs of raccoon hanging around up here?
Well, I don't. And again, they prefer to wash their food and keep clean like that. That doesn't mean that they're not up here, because they in the mountains, I should say, and in the high peaks, because they do that.
Okay.
However, they prefer to be clean.
Have you seen?
I have not seen any evidence of coons. I have not seen any evidence of possums at all. And there has been no. We're talking about peanut butter and the filling on a pecan pie. You will absolutely see teeth marks or claw marks. And a coon, a possum will leave claw marks in anything they're getting. It's how they. If you were to reach into a bowl of the filling from that pecan pie, you're going to leave finger marks in it.
Right.
If you're a hand that has claws, you're going to have finger marks in there with pointed claw marks in there as well.
Right.
None of that. There's no evidence of any small tongues licking. There's no evidence of any claws. There's no evidence of any small teeth. There's no nibbling. Whatever is taking this stuff out of this bowl is taking it in its entirety. Now when we found all the sandwich halves here.
Yeah. Last night, you mean the
Yes,
previous night, 2 nights ago?
Then you could obviously see where they were taken out, drug out of it, or picked up out of it, because peanut butter was smeared up the side of the bowl.
Right.
That sandwich, I matched that up.
Yeah.
Finger squish in the top, thumb squish in the bottom. Clear. I put my finger in it. It matched the contour of my finger.
Right.
My thumb as well, and the placement.
Right.
Crushed. The previous sandwiches,
Yeah.
the crust was crushed. Remember that?
Yes.
So, again, in the same pattern.
Right.
On top, underneath, it was grasps like this.
Right.
Picked up and squished as it was picked up. Completely crushed the crust.
Not nibbled by a little animal.
No. The tears for the crust
Yeah.
are pinched tears. It's not a bite. There's no marks in it. There's no nibbles. It was pinched, and you could see in the bread where the pinch happened as it pulled back. It squished it down, then pulled it back.
Right.
No teeth. No claws. So, I have to tell you that with gifting stuff like this out in the wilderness, one can be really skeptical on what is actually hitting the bowls.
Right.
My experience, over 30 years of being an avid hunter, a tracker, I've never seen anything without a hand do this stuff.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
There's no evidence of small critters here.
Right.
I know I've watched this from your postings from home, and I see the questions. Could it be this? Could it be that? And I know a lot of people are just trying to figure it out.
Right.
And throwing their ideas out there.
They're,
and that's great.
They're not here. They don't see all the
They're not
evidence
here.
firsthand.
And the video and the pictures will never be the best representation of what's going on here. Give you an idea, but for you to be here and see what we're seeing, there is no question.
Well, not to mention last night. I mean, they were around camp last night. You had a visual last night.
Visual number 8 for me.
Yeah, and we heard them. And
3
then,
sets of eye glow.
Right. And then on top of it, raccoon, cougar, deer, bear, elk, whatever they want to say, don't leave fingerprints on bowls, do they?
No.
And
So
we clearly have fingerprints on these bowls.
it either has to be squatches, or we have somebody living in these mountains.
Yeah, some human being, right. Yeah.
And that would, the size of the prints fingerprints that we pulled off of there that we have on our cards,
Yeah.
it would have to be a very young person.
Yeah.
And, boy, I hope somebody's looking for that little guy.
A little human being.
Yeah.
In other words,
because it would have to have been a child.
You're implying that the prints we pulled off the other day were juvenile squatch prints or a small human being.
It would have to be either that or a child or teen or adolescent human.
Yeah.
Or a very small, slight adult.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening up here.
Yeah.
We've seen no evidence, and every time we leave, nothing in our camp has been touched.
Right.
The garbage bag is touching the ground. Nothing's chewed on it.
Right.
The whole time we've been here.
And for the record, no one or no animal has ever hit that garbage bag that I leave in camp for 7 years. 7 years of leaving that garbage bag. And I tease you and Gunnar about it all the time. Hey, look at the bag. Wow.
I know.
And you guys, what do you see?
Walk over there and go, really? Oh, nothing's hit it.
That's
no
right.
No mice. No, nothing.
Right.
Nothing. And there's food in it.
Yeah.
Food scraps in it. And from the previous nights from here.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing ever hits that garbage bag in 7 years.
And in my experience, and not only National Forest campgrounds, but in the backcountry,
yeah,
you leave stuff down.
Yeah.
It gets in. Things get into it. It gets eaten. It gets torn into.
Yep.
Also, go out in the high mountains and another location, and leave your food out on your little table at night.
Right.
If you think that mice can't get up that table leg, you're mistaken.
Right.
They will.
Yeah.
Don't leave your coffee cup sitting upright.
Yeah.
You'll have a surprise in the morning. We're getting nothing like that here.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we just today have finally heard some close birds. We heard stellar jays beyond camp. We've heard a woodpecker yesterday beyond camp. Didn't fly this way. We did hear some ravens this morning fly by, land in a tree next to camp.
Which motivated us to get out here real quick to make
sure
that they were not the ones hitting the bulls, right?
Right.
We didn't see any ravens.
I reconned this immediate area yesterday and around camp.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not seeing a whole lot of deer sign. I haven't seen really hardly any elk sign. And I'm not seeing much evidence of bird. And how do I know there's not a lot of birds here? Because they're not pooping on things. I see no grouse poop. I've right at camp, I found one spot where there's a leaf with bird poop on it. The rest, there's just not a lot of animal activity here. Off in the distance, I hear a bird. But I'm just not seeing the animal sign of shit here. So, having said that, and me taking my own look around, well, I've ruled out the little critters. I really have. At this point, I'm gonna just about bet the farm on the fact that these aren't little critters getting this. There's no way this is little critters.
And once again, for the record, little critters do not leave fingerprints on gifting bowls, do they? And there's clear evidence of fingerprints on these gifting bowls after the fact that I used surgical gloves to clean them off, rubbing alcohol. You saw it. I placed them out here carrying the edge of the bowl so there were no smudge prints left from my gloves. And we even checked if my gloves could leave smudge prints, and they didn't. So those fingerprints are on the bowls this morning are not from a squirrel, a cougar, a deer, a bear, an elk. Right?
Right. Let's just throw this out there. So these are sitting here and a coyote comes by. Okay, so a coyote can pick the sandwich halves up and eat them.
Right.
Take them out, set them on the ground, and then gulp them up whole with minimal crumbs.
Yeah.
A coyote could eat that apple.
Yeah.
A coyote could eat that pie, but that coyote can't take that pie and set it outside the bowl to get it out of the way. A coyote is not going to be able to carry that apple without a bunch of holes punched in it or depressions in it from the teeth. I'm not seeing any sign of any coyote hitting these bowls.
Right.
It's just not. I'm just not seeing it.
Right.
Also, we would see tongue marks in the peanut butter and the pie filling yesterday. That isn't what we saw.
Right.
What we saw was finger scoop with nail,
Yes.
a fingernail.
Yes.
You could see the side where the finger came up to the nail and the nail drug along as the finger drug along, and it made a definitive line next to that finger.
Right.
It's not something without hands. It can't be.
Right.
If I had never done this before, right now I would be going, "Oh my God,
Right.
this can't be happening."
Right. Right.
But I've been doing this a while, and I've been doing the wilderness thing for quite a while, and it is happening.
Yeah.
And it's happening here.
So now I have a silly question. Based on evidence last night of visuals, eye shine, heavy footsteps, movement around camp, based on the fact that you scoped out this area ahead of time, no signs of animal activity around the bowl. You see heavy impressions this morning. You see no evidence of little critters eating the stuff in the bowls, pulling it outside the bowls and eating it. You see fingerprints on the bowls. For you being here firsthand as opposed to viewing from home, it's pretty clear to you that squatches hit these bowls and not little critters, right? So now, coming from being here, the perspective, if somebody now sees you, you're not me. This isn't Dr. J being here making a bunch of crap up to get attention online. You're here, you're vetting the area, you're verifying what's going on here. If somebody continues to say, "Oh, it's little critters and put a damn trail cam up," blah, 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 your response would be?
I would not screw around with anything. I wouldn't put any cameras up. These are not little critters hitting this. These are fingerprints. They're real. I'm looking at them.
Yeah.
I can breathe on that and fog that up, and that's what you're going to see.
Is fingerprints.
A fingerprint.
Right.
And
you
crease, the ridges, it's fingers.
Yeah.
There's no other way to tell you it's fingers.
Okay,
I'm
but
sitting here.
Go ahead.
And I've like I said, I've watched your posts. I've
Yeah.
talked to you. I go to your meetings.
Yeah.
You and I
Right.
are really more of acquaintances
Yeah.
than I would say good friends.
Right.
And I came here to check it out for myself. I was invited by you to check this out.
Right.
I've checked it out, and I've confirmed that what's happening here is indeed what you're saying is happening here.
Right. So now
I'm very excited about it.
Cool. And I appreciate you coming and verifying, vetting the area, and it's nice to have objective people, and I've had several other people through this area as well. So now I have to say, whoever's watching this out in internet land, if you're still not believing me, then either A, you're just in denial, or B, you just don't want to believe for whatever Bigfoot political reason, who you're aligned with, and all the political BS garbage out there. But the reality is, the squatches are hitting the bulls. There's been very little, if any, animal activity in this area for the last 7 years I've been here. No animals ever hit the garbage bag that I hang intentionally in camp, which I'm not supposed to do, but I do it anyway because I want to see what animals are in this area, and not one animal's hit the garbage bag in 7 years. This is definitely squatch activity.
Also, people who really know me know my word is gold. That's one thing about me. If I'm honest, and my word is gold. That is it. And I am telling you, I'm looking at fingerprints.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, another way of putting this, my name is not Rick Dyer, and I'm not paying Muskie Allen a bunch of money to come out here and BS with me, trying to pull one over your eyes so we can rake in a bunch of bucks because, oh, that's right, we're not charging anybody anything for this. It's all for free. So we don't have a reason to lie, do we? Do we?
No, sir.
Okay.
I am telling you, this is legit.
Right.
This is the one I saw last night, about 6 foot, somewhere between 5 and 6 foot.
Yeah.
Came out for about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And the moonlight that was so bright that I could see the detail on your clothing,
Yeah.
your face, everything. It was a bright full moon last night.
Right.
And incredibly bright.
Right.
And kept hearing noises over there, kept hearing the walking, the pacing back and forth, the
Right.
crunching.
Right.
Also heard some vocals coming from that area.
Right.
And then out of the blue, step out, and you were swinging around. You were swinging around the camp, walking the perimeter, playing music last night.
Right.
And as it stepped out as you came around 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
As you got towards 1, it stepped back for about 3 seconds. Full body, and didn't look over at us. It was looking at you.
Cool. Yeah, and I had my back to it because I didn't.
You walked towards, and then you spun around, and you went like this with the music, and then you turned back towards where it was, towards the 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock area, and continued to walk. And then you walk a little bit, and then you would swing back, and you'd play music like this, and walk forward a little bit, and then swing back, and that's how you repeated that for quite some time last night.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Visuals, I would see that you would light it up with your phone a bit, and you would be able to see what was going on.
Right. And
honestly, it was so bright last night, probably didn't need that.
Right.
It was very bright.
Correct.
Really exciting. The eye glow that I saw, the 2 sets, I saw 2 sets at the same time, moving slowly. And then off to the left, the bank that drops right down into the camp, about at about 9 o'clock, 9:15, somewhere in there. 2 eyes pop up over the bank, do this, about 5-6 inches off the ground, and then drop back down.
Cool.
Well, that was very exciting. Not the first time I've seen that, but first time I've seen it here.
Okay. Any closing words you want to say, Mr. Michael Beers, before we call it a morning?
I appreciate you inviting me here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming. And as Michael said, we're acquaintances. We're not best buds. We don't swap spit or anything, although he wants to, but ain't ever going to happen. And just kidding. Anyway.
At this point in time, I have no investment in this. I was invited down here to observe, and I've been observing. I am not, I've talked. I've said thank you for letting us come and visit and things like that. But I am not in any way a part of your experiments here.
Right. Yeah.
I am not.
Not a part of my habituation.
No.
Yeah.
And your food, your gifting, your ideas on what to put in there and how to place it. You did ask about the licorice, but other than that, this is your show. I'm observing. That's what I'm here to do, is observe and take it all in and formulate my own conclusion. And I've concluded there's nothing else that can leave a fingerprint except for something with a finger.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway,
yeah.
I do. It's a beautiful area up here. You've done a great job. I hope you're out here for many more years.
Oh, I will be.
This is fantastic.
Thanks, Mike. One last thing, just for the viewing audience. I did not serve you or Gunnar any glasses of Kool-Aid, right, while you were here?
No Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Right? No
No
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.
You bet.
Yep.